Everyone says TikTok is the new goldmine for selling books. But here's why you don't want to jump in just yet. I'm going to break down exactly what you need to know for pricing your books for TikTok, the type of content you need to be creating, and the 4 types of books that are absolutely killing it across the platform. Watch this video before you start wasting any time or money on TikTok. Let's go. All right, everybody, welcome back to this channel. Really quick, my name's Emeka, and my sole purpose is to put profits in your pockets. So let's talk about TikTok Shop for books. So the very first thing I want to do is talk about the boring stuff, and that's profitability on TikTok. How much do you make per book on TikTok compared to KDP? So I have a fancy spreadsheet that we're gonna take a look at and play around with some numbers. All right, everybody, so on the screen right now, you can see my margin, my little spreadsheet, super fancy, for my horror coloring book and how much it makes me on KDP. So you can see right here, it's my total revenue. So I sell it for $14.99 on Amazon KDP. The print cost is $2.87. There technically is fulfillment and like Amazon takes the fee, but that's worked into the percent that they take from us. So we don't actually know the breakdown of those numbers, so we don't really worry about it. But my total expenses are $2.84 for this book. So that leaves me with a net profit of royalty that's paid is $6.15 every time I sell that book. So every time somebody buys my coloring book on Amazon, I get paid $6.15 when I'm selling it at $14.99, which is the price it sells for year round. Now, how does that work for TikTok Shop? Well, take a look at this. So for TikTok Shop, I sell it for $14.99 as well. However, my print cost has now increased to $3.37. I also have a fulfillment cost that I'm able to actually see of $2.25. Then TikTok takes a platform fee of 8%, it's $1.20. We're not doing any commission here for affiliates. We'll talk about that in a second. So that means my total expenses are $6.82. That leaves me with a net profit of $8.17. So I actually make more per sale when I sell my book on TikTok than when I do on Amazon KDP. How is that? Just the way the platform works. So not too shabby for that. However, this is under the assumption that I'm the only one creating videos and creating content for the book. Is that the ideal scenario? No, you don't want to be the only person creating the content for your book. What you want to do is have 30, 40, 50, 60, 100, 500, as many other people as possible creating content about your book, promoting it out there, and you're paying them an affiliate commission, a fee. And that is the ideal scenario. So let's take into account a 17% affiliate commission, which is a little on the low side, should be a little higher, but whatever, that's the commission rate that I'm currently paying my affiliates who are creating videos on this book. And so up here, we have all the same, except for now, my affiliate fee is $2.55. So that brings my total expenses from $682 up to $937. So my net profit is now $562. So now we are less than what we would make on Amazon. Now, the question is that good or bad or indifferent? I'd say that's still really, really good. Really just, it's a couple pennies less, right? It's not significant. And obviously you can, maybe not obviously, because maybe not all of you know that you can bundle your books, real bundles, not the bundles we do on KDP, like actual bundles. So when they buy a book, they buy 2 of them. You can sell that on TikTok, and by doing that, you drastically increase your profit margin, your profitability, which is absolutely awesome. But I wanna bring out a very, very important point. Is down here, we're talking about you just doing the videos yourself. And that's not the ideal scenario. It's the scenario that it's usually gonna be in the first little bit as you learn the platform and learn how to become a content creator who sells books. So that is gonna be the case, but you want to be paying a commission rate. You wanna be paying a higher commission rate so other people are creating the videos for you. Because yes, you can go and create 3 videos a day, but what's so much more powerful is you having 50 people who are going out and creating 1 or 2 videos a day for you. You're just getting so much more exposure. And that's what we want. We want exposure. So when we're thinking about Amazon versus TikTok Shop, it's not where are we gonna make the most money, it's about where are we gonna get the most visibility so we can make the most money. And that's the key thing about social selling. It's all about getting more attention on our products, because breaking even with TikTok Shop is a wonderful thing, because the spillover that we've talked about in other videos is gonna not just double your sales, but we're talking like 5x or 10x your KDP sales on Amazon because of the attention that you're getting with TikTok Shop. And that is key. I've spoken to a ton of different sellers who are having success on TikTok. And yes, they're happy about the views. They're happy about the extra income that they're getting. But what they've noticed is the sales are exploding on Amazon. More importantly, as TikTok sales tend to go like this a lot, their Amazon sales remain consistent. So once they saw that initial growth from their first couple viral videos, the sales have just remained nice and consistent, a lot higher than normal on Amazon. And that is where the money is. So there's 4 main types of books that sell on TikTok. We have coloring books, journals, medium content. We have traditional nonfiction books, and we have fiction books. But Emeka, that's like all types of books. Yes, all types of books sell on TikTok. However, not all books are gonna be selling equally. And that's a key differentiating factor here. So we've all seen the viral books that have done super well on TikTok. The You Will Rock as a Dad series, the Last Will and Testament series, the Last Will and Trust book, Emotional Intelligence, literally any coloring book from Coco YO. So there's countless examples of books that have done really well. So it's not so much what type of book is gonna do well on TikTok, because there's books from all corners of the bookstore, so to speak. But what determines if a book's gonna do well on TikTok is, are you able to match up your messaging with your book with the right audience? And that's what we're gonna spend some time talking about, because this right here is the differentiating factor between your success on Amazon and your success with TikTok. So right now, most people who come over to TikTok are finding 0 success. And that's because they are trying to sell books the same way they sell them on Amazon. And that method just doesn't work. What I've quickly learned from my own experience, as well as talking to a ton of people who are killing it with TikTok Shop right now for books, is you have to find the right audience, combine that with the right messaging for your book. So let's break this down. In order to find success with Amazon, what do we have to find? What's the most important thing? The most important thing is your topic. It's identifying a profitable topic that's already proven to work, and then it's simply creating a book and marketing it and having it do better than your competition. That's Amazon selling 101. It's very simple. That same strategy does not apply to TikTok at all. On TikTok, it's all about the attention. So we're gonna use 3 different examples to hit this point clear. Dog Training for Beginners, First Time Dad Survival Guide, and Beginner's Guide to Gardening. Everything I've mentioned is a pretty decent keyword to publish a book in. And that's usually, Dog Training for Beginners is usually the main keyword that you would have in your title. But you can't use that when you're trying to sell a Dog Training for Beginners book on TikTok, because nobody's searching for it that way. Instead, we need to focus on attention. So Dog Training for Beginners translates into this. If your dog ignores you every time you call them, watch this. It's the same concept, it's Dog Training for Beginners, but what I'm trying to do is grab your attention as a new dog owner. I'm trying to relate a problem that you might be facing for a reason that you're gonna wanna buy my book, but I'm trying to relate it to an everyday scenario or issue that you might have when it comes to training your dog, it not listening to you. First-time dads, nobody tells first-time dads this, but this is gonna save your sanity. That's a great hook to have for a video when you're about first-time dads, because as a first-time dad, you want to save your sanity. So when you're scrolling on your phone and somebody comes up with that hook, what might you do? Pause. And that's all you need them to do, is pause and listen to what you say next. Gardening. Now, how on earth could you sell a gardening book on TikTok? Same thing, attention. If you kill every plant you touch, this tip will change everything. See, if you're a beginner gardener and you're killing every plant you touch because you suck at what you do, and you're scrolling on TikTok, watching gardening videos, and somebody says, hey, if you kill every plant you touch, this one tip will change everything. What do you want to do? You want to find out what that tip is. So that's the shift that we have to make from the Amazon KDP way to the TikTok attention one. Now, we're not going to break down the different parts of a TikTok video because that would be a completely different video that we're not going to have time for right now. What we are going to do is talk about the most important part of a TikTok video, and that is the hook. The hook is what you want to spend all of your time on when you're creating your videos, because you literally have like a second or two to get your viewer to pause, to grab their attention, to continue talking to them. So that hook, it has to captivate them. So there's a few different hooks that we could talk about, and the ones that I want to spend majority of time on are the ones that, from doing my research, I have found that work the best. So the first one is the controversial hooks, then emotional hooks, pattern interrupt hooks, pain point hooks, curiosity hooks, authority or expert positioning hooks. These are the ones that work the best, in my opinion, and from doing my research. So let's kind of break them down a little bit more. So the first one, controversial hooks. What's a controversial hook? It's anything that somebody's either gonna love or you're gonna piss them off with. So for example, like Donald Trump loves this book. That's gonna be very polarizing for a lot of different people for a lot of different reasons. But who cares? What do? They look. So it's going back into the examples here, right? Dog trainers hate when I share this, right? That's controversial. Dog trainers hate when I share this. Most parenting books are wrong about this. And then some common fact about parenting. Don't waste your money on raised bed gardenings until you see this. So it's usually going the opposite direction of everybody else. So those are just some examples. Now, where could you get more controversial hooks that are gonna be applicable to your niche? This wonderful thing called ChatGPT. Emotional hooks, what are these? These are hooks that trigger empathy, nostalgia, or personal connection. So for example, my mom couldn't get off the couch without pain until she found this. That's a little weak. I think we could do better, right? The one thing I wish I knew before becoming a dad. This plant survived when everything else in my garden died. This is why. So anything that's gonna kind of trigger them. Nostalgia is such a big thing right now, so I would really kind of play on that if you can. But you can find an emotional hook about anything. Like I have this book right here. I just did a review for it. I can't remember whose book this is, but just did a review swap for it on TikTok, because you can do review swaps on TikTok as of September 16th, 2025. Who knows if it'll change. And you know, could we come up with an emotional hook for a time management book? Right now, time management, not sexy at all, right? But what would be an emotional hook for a time management book? Okay, I'm thinking about like, you're picking up your kids, but you're running late. My life completely changed the day I was like late to pick up my daughter. Or, you know, every parent's worst nightmare. You forget to pick up your kid. Like something like that, like just something like that, that's gonna trigger that emotional connection. Could we do the same thing with like controversial hooks? Yeah, easy. Why time management is the biggest waste of your time. Or what everyone gets wrong about time management. Controversial. Oh, easy, easy. Okay, number 3, pattern interrupt hooks. So you stop the scroll with something unexpected. If you're feeding your dog this, you could be killing them without knowing. Most dog owners, if they care about their dog, they're gonna be like, oh, what's this one thing, right? You could even spice it up. You know, this one thing in my kitchen has been killing my dog and I didn't even know about it. Boom, anything, super crazy, right? It's like, what do you call those magazines? Those really trashy magazines? That's like pattern interrupt. Right? Like the woman gave birth to an 800-pound baby. It's like those, like you're like, wait, what? You stop at the grocery store and you look at the magazine and you read it, or you look at it, you stop and look at it. That's the goal, because it's just so unbelievable. That's the same thing with pattern interrupt hooks. New dads, you're probably doing everything wrong. Watch this. Another new dad, because like parents are always freaking out about their new babies. If your baby's making this sound when it sleeps, call 911. That's good. Right? That's a good one. That's a good one. Oh, that's a good one. Or, you know, going back to gardening, this $2 tool saved my entire garden, right? $2, super cheap. It's a tool, saved the entire garden. Pattern interrupt hooks. We could be playing around with this all the time. The important thing is you have fun. You get out there, you be crazy. Like right now, what I'm doing on my TikTok, I've been testing a whole bunch of like 37 countries just banned this book. And it's like my book. right? Or they've tried to ban this book. It's just like outrageous claims. And yo, those views, I've been doubling my views every single day by just testing more outrageous things. The next one, pain points. Tap into frustration people already feel. If you're tired of pulling your dog on a leash, try this. Feeling completely clueless as a new dad, you're not alone. If every plant you touch dies, this is for you, okay? We're touching on the pain. We're touching on the reason they're in pain. We wanna take advantage of that to grab their attention. Pain hooks for this in the comments right now. What are some pain hooks? Give me a pain hook right now in the comments. Come on, do this if you're serious, right? What are some pain hooks for time management right now? Yes, it's corny. Yes, it's a YouTube video, but do you want to learn how to do this properly, or do you just want to stay broke forever? Okay, pain hooks. The one that I would think of, if you're late for every single meeting, you need this book. Or if you're letting people down because of your poor time management skills, read this, right? Pain hooks, letting people down. Because nobody likes being late, right? Maybe some people, but like serious people don't like being late. And so anyone who's looking for a time management book, right? If you're stressed and overwhelmed and you're taking it out on your kids, you need this time management book, right? Curiosity hooks. Tease a solution without giving it all away. The secret to a perfectly trained dog isn't what you think. Then what is it? Nobody tells first-time dads this until it's too late. What? This one gardening trick shocked me. It actually worked. Curiosity. I love using curiosity. Okay, authority, expert positioning now. You're establishing your credibility super fast. So after publishing 100+ books on Amazon, here's what I learned about blank, right? I've trained dogs for over 20 years and this works every single time. I've killed dozens of plants before I figured this out, right? Even killing plants. You gotta kill a lot of plants before you can be a successful gardener. It's just the way of life. So killing plants before you figure it out, it's a way to establish your authority. I was late for literally every single meeting until I read this book or until I did this. And you could just keep going on and on and on and on. The next thing I wanna talk about is creating consistent content for TikTok. This is one of the hardest parts, especially when you're new, because you gotta create consistent content. So the first thing I'm gonna tell you is it doesn't have to be polished. It's not YouTube. In fact, TikTok rewards content that's a little raw, a little bit more edgy, right? Content in your car. Volume matters more than super polished, super edited content. Focus on volume. That is the name of the game for your first 30 to 90 days. It's get as much out there as you possibly can. You're probably thinking right now, Emeka, that takes a stupid amount of time and I don't know if I have time for that. And yeah, and that's why a lot of people are gonna fail with TikTok Shop, because it takes a stupid amount of time. It's not like KDP. It takes a ridiculous amount of time and a different type of effort than it does to sell books on Amazon. But that's why it'll 10x your Amazon sales, right? You wanna make more money, it's gonna require a lot more work. It's gonna require upping your skills. Now, a tip I can give you is I wrote down batch recording, right? So when I film my TikTok video, I just film 10 to 15 videos at once. And so batch record, batch edit, and we're good to go. I usually edit them when I'm watching TV at night, right? Just editing the videos, because you just edit them all on your phone. Batch recording definitely does help because you can get a couple days videos done in one sitting, so to speak. Now, test out different angles: emotional, aspirational, problem solving, entertainment. It doesn't even matter if your book is for entertainment or not. This boring ass time management book could be emotional, aspirational, problem solving, entertainment. All of those would work for this book because we don't know which one's gonna work. It might be a super entertaining video that connects the best with the audience for this. You just gotta figure that out. It might be a problem solving one that connects best for this. We don't know. It might be the emotional one that connects best with the audience for this. There's so many different factors that go into this that it's literally impossible to give you a blueprint on. If you do this, you'll get this, because there's so many different ways of doing it. Now, I'm gonna give you a pro tip right here, is take one clip and repurpose it into multiple videos. This is the part that really surprised me. And I did this, I think it almost tripled the views. So I took, it was a 40 or 50 second clip that I filmed. I took 6 seconds of that clip, just 6 seconds of the middle of the clip, and I just reposted that, and that like tripled its views, that one clip. And I've literally been using that same clip all week, just adding text, adding voiceover, adding music, but just playing around with it as the views been going up and up and up. But it was just from this one clip that me and my wife filmed, and then I just took 6 seconds of it and repurposed it, and then just, you know, been playing around with that. That's been working beautifully. So that's what I mean. You just gotta test, 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 test. You're literally, there's that saying, right? You throw crap on the wall and see what sticks. That's literally TikTok. That's what you're doing, especially in the beginning. The next one is common mistakes to avoid. Copying viral formats without changing it so it's gonna work for your book. So you've seen some of the more viral books. You should be copying all those formats, but you should be adjusting it so it works for your book, for your niche. You can't just copy it like carbon copy. You've got to make some adjustments so it makes sense for the audience that you're trying to capture. And that kind of ties into the next point, trying to sell books with no clear audience. On TikTok, it is even more important that you have a very, 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 very clear defined avatar. Let's use this book again. Now, I haven't done a ton of research for this book, so I have no idea who the avatar is. But when we say busy people, there's so many things that could come into play for this. Is it busy people at work? Is it just busy teens? Is it busy parents? Is it busy whatever? Based on the imaging, how this book is, the messaging that the video is gonna do, it might resonate more with a really busy mom for some reason. It might resonate more with a working professional. It might resonate more with like a 4-year-old dad. It might resonate more with the slightly, late 20s person. Who knows? That's why you have to try a lot of different angles to see how your messaging is, how your package, the book, is going to land with that particular audience. And then once you start seeing success with one video, figure out who is the audience, how can we double down on that and start marketing specifically to that audience. You might think this is gonna be for all busy people, but the market might not agree with you, and it might be for a very, very specific niche, and that's okay. You just market the hell to them and laugh all the way to the bank. One of the last mistakes I want to talk about is thinking that you need tons of videos. You only need one. You need one video to completely change your life here. One video can blow up and do millions of views and completely change your entire business. One video. But how long it takes you to get that one video is a completely different story. I've spoken to publishers who have published 4 videos and they saw a massive success right away. It just blew up. They just nailed it. Right? Maybe a bit of luck, whatever. I've spoken to other people who are super successful KDP publishers, and they've literally published over 300 or 400 videos so far, and they've got like a handful of sales. But it only takes one. And I think that's the diamond that you're looking for, but how much do you have to go through to get that one? Best practices for TikTok Shop. Consistency, consistency, consistency. Okay? TikTok loves consistency. How consistent do you have to be? Every single day is consistent. You have to be posting every single day. Multiple times a day is best, but every single day, at least once a day, bare minimum for your first like 30 to 90 days until you start seeing a massive uptick in sales. And this is like no matter what, like you don't take vacation, you don't like, I schedule my posts, a few days in advance to make sure I don't forget. And then if I think of like a cool video idea, I just usually just film that quickly and then I'll just schedule or I'll just post it right away. You have to be consistent because TikTok does reward consistency. Using anything that TikTok is pushing. So if TikTok's pushing certain trendy songs or certain sounds or certain effects, try to incorporate that stuff into your videos for the love of God. If a platform is suggesting, hey, use this thing, hey, use that, they push videos that use those things. They're literally telling you what to do. And so that's one of the things that I like doing. I follow a lot of, I don't know even what you call them, but they're people who talk about TikTok and how to do well on TikTok. And so they'll highlight some of the like, here's the, the most used song right now on TikTok. Here's the trendy whatever. And it's like, sweet, grab that song and I just like upload the last video I did and throw that song on it and boom. Now I make sure the song fits for the type of video, right? But do that and you'll see an instant boost in views for doing stuff like that. Use captions and text overlays. Don't forget, a lot of people will watch videos muted. So having captions in your video, if you're talking, is absolutely key. Playing with the voiceover text, right? Doing a video where it's maybe you talking and then doing a video where it's like the AI voiceover talking. Publish both of them. Same video, it's just one's you talking, one's a voiceover talking. See which one hits. Post it, try it, just do it. You gotta test, and that's the biggest thing. If you have an idea, no matter how stupid it might sound to you, because literally anything posting on TikTok, in my opinion, is just stupid. I really hate it, but I do it because it's the right thing to do for the business. And so that's one of the things I've kind of got it out of my own way, and I've just kind of like posted a little bit more freely. And the videos that I cringe at making the most usually end up doing the best. So if it's making you cringe, it's probably a good video to post. And the last thing we're gonna wrap up here are setting some realistic expectations. TikTok Shop is not for beginners. If you're not making any money on KDP yet, or if you're just making your first like $1,000 or $2,000, don't get into TikTok. You're just gonna end up blowing up your business and working at McDonald's later. The chances of your success are slim. Understand the basics first. Get really good at Amazon. Learn how to make money with that business first. And then when you have a couple $1,000s to invest into your TikTok business, come over, invest, and learn how to scale it so both things can blow up for you in a good way. But you really need to focus on the basics first, right? I've seen too many people, they take their book that's like 700,000 BSR on Amazon, and they bring it over to TikTok thinking they're gonna be able to make some videos and it's gonna blow up and it's gonna change everything. I mean, it could, if they get the angle and the messaging and the audience, if they get that trifecta, but the chances of them getting that are slim to none. That's the really, really crappy part about it. So just make sure that you've got your foundation, you got your base on Amazon KDP first, solid, before you get over to TikTok. What you're seeing on TikTok right now with TikTok books and all of that, guys, we're not even in the infancy stage. Like, it's about to give birth this year. Like, it's literally that. We're still in the womb. We're still in the womb. That's how new and fresh it is right now. This holiday season, you're gonna see some bloody, insane numbers from people. Nuts, right? It'll happen. That will be the birth of publishing on TikTok. Don't stress over that you're missing anything or you're, the FOMO is probably real right now, but don't worry about it. It's okay. Stay in your lane, stay with what you understand. TikTok Shop will be there in the future, especially as they expand into Canada, they expand into other markets that make it available for not just Americans. It's coming. Of course it is, because they want to make more money and they want to expand, so they're going to open it up for more people. It's only going to get easier in the next little bit on TikTok. That's all I have for you guys right now. I hope you'd enjoy this. Let me know in the comments what you thought. Would love to talk more about it. Exciting times in the self-publishing space with TikTok Shop and everything that's coming up in the next little bit. Super, super excited to see what happens all around. And if you enjoyed this, I got a couple links for you to go check out. If you are brand new and you want to get started with self-publishing, I have a free 5-day Publish and Profit Challenge where I will hold your hand and show you how to find a topic, write a book, publish a book, and profit from that book, all within 5 days, completely 100% for free. So there's a link in the description to join the Publish and Profit 5-day challenge. Those of you who are a little bit more advanced, or you're just ready to get going and you have a bit of cash saved, you wanna work with me, you can book a call. That link down there as well. That is to join my paid program, so do be aware of that. Both options are available for you. Either way, I want to find a way to put profits in your pockets. So till next time, everybody, I'm Emeka. Peace.